Member of Government can call upon member of opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the House. Now, we as closing opposition believe that men should not think and should not be placed above women. That ultimately, all sexes are equal. Now, before I get to my positive matter, I'm just going to start with a few points of rebuttal. Now, firstly, from our Prime Minister, from the Prime Minister, he stated that female dominance of this narrative, just on that topic, he stated that to a large extent we're taking away the masculinity of the man, and they use this as an act of retribution, the sex. Rape is used as an act of retribution. But I don't believe that that's a reason for rape, because ultimately, power issues cause rape. Previous sexual experiences cause rape. Previous neglect of any sexual matter could cause rape. It's not just because men get neglected that they get raped. The idea that a man should be superior to this it's not standing in a modern society, but I'll get to that later. So, when you also look at the rape culture, this was also opening, this was closing. I'm going to go on to my positive matter, and as soon as I get there, I'll accept it.
So it doesn't matter, like, what...
No,
sorry.
Thanks.
Excuse that.
Okay, also, on the idea of the rape culture, now, since women dress differently, they might get raped. Now, I do not believe that I would rape someone just because they look prettier than someone else. I do not believe that that's a justified reason to rape someone else if they dress better. It's an individual may be more inclined, but that's not sufficient reason. Looking better to get raped. Continuing. So, we see that women have more power in this sphere because they are mostly raped. If you look at men that get raped, you'll see that less than 5% of related rapes are done by men over the age of 18. Boys get raped. Yes, boys do get raped. But boys that get raped will much easier be able to relate to a female narrative than what they would be able to relate to a male narrative. And the reason for this is, if you have any problems, who do you go to? You don't go to your father, you go to your mother. That's the natural way that things work. Continuing. Now, also, when women talk, they will be raped more. Now, no, they will not. Because if I go and I say I was raped, and I said that is the perpetrator, that perpetrator would most probably be put behind bars. So they won't be raped more. They'll be raped less, because the perpetrator that raped them will be in prison.
On a point.
Continuing. Okay, yes, I'll accept my first.
So it doesn't matter what the initial factor was that caused this person to rape. What matters is that men enjoy hurting women if they rape them. And under your model, you're going to be furthering that hurt being portrayed, which is going to lead to men enjoying raping women that much more.
Okay, no. I completely disagree with that statement, because ultimately, by having men being brought to justice to this effect, even though, what kind of a sadistic person would, what kind of a sadistic person would go through the effort of raping someone in the first place and find joy in that? Now, I believe that ultimately, by going and letting women, I'm going to continue this, but as opening government also stated, and on rebuttal of yours, that they've already provided, it's clear that they can see that by having individuals being brought to account because of their rape, yes, these individuals might still rape, but in the end of the day, they're going to end up in jail, and they're going to be made, they're going to be shown what the effects of this is, and then they won't rape. Or no, individuals will not be, society will be less inclined to rape, among the others. Okay, on to my point, and this is our extension. Now, the justification for the female narratives. Now, when one looks at the number of rapes that are reported and the nature of rapes, we'll see that the majority of those are caused by individuals that you know, and women need so much more courage to be able to go into... I'll finish this argument, and as soon as I'm done, I'll accept you. Okay, so we see that women need so much more courage, because less than half of rapes are being reported now, and that is statistics. So we need women to be empowered as much as possible, because if they're not empowered as much as possible, then what we'll see is that even less rapes will be reported, and ultimately, if individuals are allowed to get away with this and they're not being held accountable, we'll have an increase in the rape rate. And that's exactly the opposite of what OG said. Now, continuing with the same case. Women are in the best position to provide this narrative because they are the party that are harmed the most. As we can see in statistics, that the amount of men that are raped are very, very large minorities, and that children also, to a large extent, will identify easier with women. So women are in the best position to provide this narrative. Now, how a man sees rape. But before I take that, I'll accept my second point of information, my final point of information.
Under your model, the only thing that your point has advantage is if the person, the perpetrator, gets caught. Currently in South Africa, if a woman speaks up, goes to the police station, he might even rape her in the process because he feels dominant in that scene, and we've seen that happen in South Africa as well.
Yes,
so you are not curbing the core of it.
Wait, sorry. Just to clarify, or you can do this by nodding. So what you're saying is that police people will now be raping the individual. Come on. Not.
That's what's happening.
Okay, yes. So ultimately, we believe that this power and this idea that men should be above women shouldn't be there.
Here.
Both sexes should be on equal level.
Here.
Continuing with my argument. Now, how a man sees rape? Well, mostly rape is caused by sexual frustration and individuals that feel less of power, now they're forcing power upon their woman. Now, from a woman's perspective, this is total inferiority. This is slavery. This is absolutely, you can't do anything about this. I'm going to go and I'm going to rape you. You have no power. You are worth nothing. This is a total breakdown on the psyche. Okay, so the reason why women are allowed to dominate the sphere and actively change society's views on the subject, because now we can see that currently that women are being hurt more by this, and women have got a much better slant towards this, and they'll be more able to dominate the sphere and will be more actively. They'll be more effective in changing society's views. Now, we see that it is in the best, they're in the best position to do this, and we do not want men to represent them, as opening government went and said, because what would you prefer, a direct line of thought, or me telling a man and then a man telling the public? We believe that individuals should be able to give their own views and give their own opinions. So, we're not changing, we have to change society's views, and we didn't want men to think that they should be above women. And this dominance is justified because, just as what we see with BEE, previously disadvantaged parties are now getting privilege. Because they were disadvantaged in the past, what we see now is they are being given the opportunity to rebetter their stances so that there can be a new form of equality that there was originally not. And for all these reasons, we strongly oppose. Thank you.